Oh, what's going on, everybody? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 3, episode 16. Holy motherfucking shit. We are doing this a little late in the week. So this is what happened. I was going to do this with Sean and Warren, but Warren was just having sex with all these girls, and he was like, nah, I can't come till Thursday. I was like, okay, Warren. Okay. Sean went to the movies, so that's why he's not here. So that's pretty much it. And then we have Trackhawk tonight, who we haven't seen in years. So just like my dad, just little impact on my life, essentially.
Not sure if you can see how like red and raccoon-eyed I am, but sleep, non-existent. Who needs that?
Who needs that? Yeah, dude, I don't really sleep anymore. Who needs to sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, so hey, what's up, Trackhawk? Good seeing you. And I like the RGE jersey, baby.
Okay. Hey, man. People was disrespecting my boy, fucking Ben out there. I like how Ben was straight up clapping people, and other people were just calling him shit. Like, I don't know. The man was literally beating the shit out of people with like just Gangplank and Gwen. But it's all good. It's all good. RNG won. They're one of my favorite teams in the League of Legends scene in the LPL. So I'm glad they won MSI and shut those fucking Team 1 fanboys up. Oh my god. It's unfair that they're there. Okay, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Like, in life, dude, people complain about things at work and shit. But at some point, you got to go up to your core and be like, hey, man, if you don't like it, you can just leave. You know what I mean? Like, if the teams didn't like what happened, they could all just win like we're not attending. If we don't like it that much, we're all not going. And that would have shown Riot. You bring RNG over to the tournament or you just cancel it.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the RNG shit, they didn't know what was going on until they got there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like they were like, no, it's fine. We're going to make sure it's fair. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then they like signed up, they got there, and then they're like, all right, so here's the plan, all right?
Yeah.
We're gonna run you guys at 35 ping. They're only able to stream one camera.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't know if that camera is live or not. There's one camera there. And yeah, it's totally fair, guys. 100% fair, committed all the way to integrity. And at that point, the teams have like just finished paying their registrations, and they're like, "I'm sorry, can you like just roll that back a little bit? Because what I was doing was a bunch of bullshit." But
then in RNG's group at MSI 2022, they play out the round robin for their group, the first round. Then for some reason, I guess they said certain games it was laggy at certain points. So certain teams where they wanted to try out a certain combo with their champions, they couldn't do it because it would just lag for them. So they ended up erasing RNG's record. The other teams kept their records, and then RNG just went and beat the shit out of them again. So if that just didn't prove RNG was the better team, I don't know what it was. Because people were like, well, because of the lag, man. And I get it. Lag sucks in League. That can definitely make you lose. Sure, run it back then. It really didn't matter.
I buy into like really the whole like lag or like 35 millisecond ping what was deal breaker. I will say this. For someone who is not known for his jungle pathing, RNG's jungler put on a fucking clinic almost every single match.
All the RNG players play great. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I said that on a Twitter post that Wei will be the key to RNG winning, and I think Wei is the best jungler in the world. Actually, I think people put Canyon way above Wei. But remember, Wei has to play around.
I think Canyon's actually had a slump this year. If you've actually been watching the LCK, Canyon's been like really good, but he hasn't been the best.
It's like Owner, Canyon, and then Wei. But I think Wei is up there because think about what Wei has to deal with. He has to deal with playing around. Sometimes has to play around Gala. Zhao, who's gonna want resources. Ben's left on an island, so he's like have to make all these decision making. And let's not forget that he came in and he replaced Karsa. Like, this guy replaced a jungler that was pretty good, still pretty good, because he's on B5. And I think that my problem with the people for both when it comes to certain regions is they don't look at the games enough. Like, when G2
Warren, you're being too nice. I know what you really mean. You're this fucking bastard, man. He literally, we talk off stream. He means they're not smart enough to understand how the game is played. That's what he really means.
Well,
Mince your words, you bastard. This man literally says people are so fucking stupid. They don't know how the LPL is and shit.
They don't. Like, the thing is, like, they only remember, the Shy and Rookie, but they don't understand that there's more people. There's people that dumpster the Shy all the time. There's people that
he literally loses his laning phases now. The man literally plays like Gnar, sits in lane, loses, but he's so good at team fighting, it doesn't matter.
Right. There's like people only think about Knight. There's other mid laners. There's other AD carries. Like, that's
Bofo's good, actually. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. So the thing is, I think the problem is what really triggered me so much, and I was so livid, was when these idiots were like, is G2 gonna go 8-0? Are they gonna be undefeated? Like, are these people morons right now?
Remember, dude, you guys know I love G2, but when people said G2 were the best team in the world after 2 B1s, I was like, all right, we're done. Narrative's over. We're done. I'm walking out. Give me the rope. I'm done.
Don't get me wrong. G2 came in and they definitely, like, at least kind of showcased that they're good.
Yeah.
But no, MSI. Anyone who thought that MSI was going to go to G2, they flat out must have been smoking something. Whatever they were on, I want some of it because
I got it. I got
far
the G2
off of
crack.
planet Earth.
Carlos sold me G2 crack before I did the stream. Actually,
they sucked the soul out of Big Ben because they really wanted to. I don't understand how. Okay, it's disrespectful to say that. For instance, I don't know what's his name. Flackett is better than like Gala. Are you dumb? Come on, man.
I'll say this: Flackett actually played really well. I think he played great, but he didn't play better than Gala.
There's no way.
I think Flackett performed well for what his expectations were. Like, I truly think all the G2 players played well except for like Broken Blade. I think they played at the level we expected them to play, but Broken Blade was so heavy. You couldn't carry that dead weight to any finals.
Don't say that when they had the win streak, though. Oh my God, G2.
He was only playing Orin, though.
The champion's broken. I
know, but like, if you ban that away, and when he had no counters to Gwen, because he can't play Gwen good enough like Ben and Zeus can. Actually,
it's funny because go ahead, track talk.
To be fair, like on the Gwen bit, Gwen suddenly came out of nowhere when Zeus was just able to like 1v5 everyone. Like, that was just Gwen went from literally being benched to suddenly like key in draft for most of the top teams. So that was kind of out of nowhere, or at least I kind of felt it was out of nowhere. Like, I knew
felt like it only came from RNG, because RNG only gave Ben, Gwen, Gangplank, and I think the only other champion he played was like randomly he would play Orin.
No, I knew Ben and Zeus were like pretty good Gwen players, but I didn't think Gwen was going to be that pivotal in so many series.
Only for RNG.
Forward.
just for RNG.
But it wasn't, though. That's the thing. Like, there were so many other teams that suddenly picked up Gwen and her zone.
Zeus, Jace, that worked against bad teams, but when he faced up against Ben, it didn't work. I remember Zeus. No. Like, no one talked about when Zeus had bad games on Kennen. That guy's Kennen looked like dog shit.
Zeus's Kennen shouldn't have ever been. After the first Kennen game was just so rat awful.
They should have played Squid Game after that.
Yeah, no, T1 should have just been like, all right, that didn't work.
And
we're never going to try it again, because like it was so fundamental. It wasn't even that Zeus played bad in the laning phase. The laning phase went totally fine. It's just the T1 did not know how to execute around the Kennen. They had no idea how to work with it.
The T1 fans were like, all our players are flexible. People, just because you can play 3 champions doesn't mean your player's flexible. That's not how that works. That's how you can tell people are morons.
And I didn't understand. Like, I was watching Broken Blade stream, and he said something really interesting. He said, people look at Ben and think that he's inting, but RNG knows how to play around his aggression, which means that RNG knows what Ben's gonna do, and even if they don't path to him, they know his playstyle. Like, Ben can go 0-3, but still have impact in fights. And he's like, oh, they don't. I learned that from watching Ben and Zeus, how they take aggression and they use it to their advantage. But people think that they're hard inting.
Which is why it was so weird when they just dropped Ben for breath. Breath or breathe?
For breathe. Okay, so basically, because I explained it on the last show, RNG is okay. Their owner made a lot of bad investments, so they don't really have a lot of money, quote unquote, right? So here's what happened. So in the 2021 offseason after Worlds, BLG actually bought Ben from who was called Suning, right? So they bought Ben and they already had Breathe. They actually had 2 top laners. They were going to do the whole sub one out, someone in, was going to be the starter. Yeah. So RNG still had Uzi's contract, actually. So BLG were like, you know what? We kind of need Uzi. We'll give you Ben as a loan. It was actually a loan. So then Ben won MSI and won Spring. So they're like, can we get that good top laner back that we gave you guys?
Oh, so
and it's a fun fact. Wei was transferred from E-Star, right?
Yeah.
RNG still hasn't paid his transfer fee. But RNG needed a top laner, so BLG basically gave RNG a top laner for free.
It's shit like this where it's like people are like, why isn't esports taken so more seriously? It's like,
why is there win trading?
Because shit like this, guys.
The guy RNG is one of the most perennial League of Legends organizations ever. They won 3 MSIs, multiple top 8s, top 4s. They've won 5 domestic trophies. I mean, they can't afford to pay a player's transfer fee. What were all the sponsors? What's
could you imagine if just flip the script to some major sport?
The Yankees.
I was going to go hockey, like McDavid. Imagine Edmonton. Imagine Edmonton sold McDavid and then didn't pay the transfer fee. It's like,
I guess the LPL is doing IOUs because there's that big scandal with the LPL where team owners had multiple teams and shit. I swear to God, I think RNG or FPX's owner owns anyone's shit because that organ who runs that org? Who runs anyone's legend? Dogs off the street eating each other's asses every day.
I can just imagine RNG, just the owners just sitting around a table. It just passes you a napkin with an IOU just on it. A little signature next to it.
Dude, credit to RNG. You would think that they could use Breathe very well. Out of the games I've seen so far, because as everyone knows, I watch all the regions. LPL is decently hard to watch sometimes. Not because it's bad or anything. When I go to sleep, LPL and LCK are on. I play on both on my computer. And what's disgusting, dude? Ever since the LCK came back onto YouTube for their live streams, the LPL doesn't even get more than 2 or 3,000 viewers for their streams. It's always been lower viewed than the LCK, even when the LPL was just on YouTube. Actually, because remember, the LCK wasn't on YouTube for a couple of years because of some deal they couldn't strike up with YouTube, so they were just only on Twitch. LPL was just all them. They couldn't even crack 5,000 viewers on a regular day. The LPL's won, they said 5 out of the last international tournaments?
Something like that, right? Part of that is also goes way beyond just the LPL's marketing team and everything like that.
Yeah.
With the current state of the world and everything like that, there's a lot of people, at least that I talk to in the scene, who don't support the LPL. They support the players, they support the teams and everything, but they don't support the LPL just because there's so much bullshit and shenanigans behind the scenes when it comes to, censorship and shit like that. So there's definitely a lot more to that. But then even just taking into the account the legacy, yes, LPL has won so much stuff
recently
in the last little while. But unfortunately, I would say the vast majority of people watching League of Legends aren't necessarily new watchers. They're old watchers. And
they're not increasing viewers on their YouTube live streams. I think Twitch is different for them. I think it's better for them on Twitch. YouTube, it's been the same for years, man. I've been watching LPL stream for years, man. It's always been 2,000-3,000 viewers. LCK gets the 8K, 10K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's always been more popular.
LCK's also got, the big names. I hate to say it, but T1's probably the TSM, C9, and
Fnatic.
They're the big name that just draws everyone in. you constantly see it on Twitch, like when T1 plays, LCK like viewership just spikes up
on YouTube.
But, I mean, I guess it's the same thing with G2, Fnatic.
Yeah, same thing on YouTube. Like after a bottom feeder BO3, if T1 plays next, that viewership spikes like 4,000 viewers. I'm like, that is disgusting. That is gross. And then there was this discussion on Twitter where it was like how come the LPL has been recently outperforming the LCK? I think it really pretty much all comes down to playoffs, actually. Like the LPL playoff system is just a lot more grueling, and I personally think a whole lot better. People don't understand that the LCK's playoff system was always being done. Anyone who's watching this year doesn't know about. They used to do their playoff first round used to be a best of 3 wild card round. So imagine playing an entire split of BO3s and your next for first playoff game, a BO3. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And they didn't even let 6 teams in. It was just 5.
Yeah, LCK definitely needs to
I mean, they changed that this year, which is better for them, but it's still like
I would say the other portion of it is just population. You know,
also true,
LPL has billions of people, and when you have billions of people to pick from, it's real easy to find a lot of top players. I don't remember the statistics, but it's something like of the top 1% players in the world, something like 60 or 70% of them can be traced back to the LPL. It's insane. It's an absolutely, I'm pretty sure that statistic is wrong, but it's just an absolute insane number of players who in the professional scene can just be traced back to either playing in the LPL. Like, it's one of the reasons that we see more and more teams doing LPL boot camps when they can, rather than Korea boot camps. Like, it used to be just, you would go to Korea because that's where the best players are. But now it's like LPL solo queue is literal hell compared to LCK. So
I also think people just underestimate the LPL too. Like, when a China, and this is also another point that I want to bring up too, is I think people who watch the LCK don't actually watch the LPL. And I think there are certain people out there who don't watch all the regions. And why I always stress to do that is because you'll get a better feel of how good a team actually is. Like, if you only just watch LCK, LCS, and LEC, and you don't watch LPL, then if you're trying to tell me power rankings and how strong a team is, how am I going to take you seriously if you didn't actually watch the LPL? You know, the LPL going into all these past major events have been drastically underrated, but they've been in more grueling playoff formats, and they've also won the last 3 international tournaments.
Yep,
and the last 2. 3 worlds?
3 world championships, and they've beaten the LCK. Like, they did a stat. T1 hadn't been to a finals of a tournament since 2017 when Faker lost to Samsung Galaxy. That's fucking throwback name. Holy shit. It's been 5. Holy shit, it's been 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is also because whenever people are like, oh man, I watched the LPL, I'm like, okay. Without going Invictus, EDG, or RNG, who's your favorite team? Nobody ever has an answer. Sometimes they'll be like team
randomly
WD
Knight. They'll
esport.
say Knight, but they won't say top esports. They'll say Knight. Okay.
Exactly.
Like, I can name. I watch LPL, so like a team that I like that I thought I hope that they get better is Rare Atom. I think they're a pretty good team, but they and for some reason they refuse to play through Cube, which I don't understand why. He's probably one of their best players. And I also like what's it called?
Even
OMG.
other like slightly.
What about LNG? Like, dude, no one even talks about LNG.
Oh, I love LNG. I love LNG.
Yeah. Like,
LNG,
a lot of people know
Victory
LNG
5,
for
JD
what?
Gaming, like
Dwayne, Tarzan, Ale, but no one really says I'm an LNG fan.
I'm an LNG fan.
Exactly.
I'm an LNG fan. I like them. If you literally go to my Twitter, you literally see I have LNG.
Dude, I saw that BO3 they played up against Anyone's Legend. I was like, oh my god, I'm never watching any more Anyone's Legends games ever again. I was like, I did it last year, I'm doing it this year. They oh my lord, my brain fried. Holy shit. And and that's my thing with the LPL is, when it's becoming too big a detriment to your success? Because there's 17 teams. I'm surprised I can keep up with all of them.
I like that. You want to know, and I think that the other regions should adopt that, because what it does is, when you have all these different types, like for instance, there was an LPL game, right? And Rare Adam bust out Nasus and won a game.
I remember that, yeah.
Like, who busts out Nasus and wins a game? Like,
think about Nasus top they said in like 8 years.
8 years. Like, that's like season 3. Right?
Nasus was my first main in League of Legends. That's my baby right there. I haven't seen a Nasus top in ages, man.
So what I like is when you have more teams, you're gonna get different types of drafts, different types of play styles, and you're gonna have more competition. And your scrims can also be better because, okay, let's say RNG doesn't want to scrim you. You might be able to get a scrim with, say, LNG. That's still a pretty decent
That's
team.
still quality scrim right there,
because we all know the murmurs around any major regions where some teams are like, nah, let's say LEC. Astralis, we're not going to scrim against G2. Now we're good. We're okay. We're not going to scrim. Like, they do that. Like, they straight up do that. So when you have so
even
many
randomly in the LPX, FPX, they're going to have Summit.
You know? Have Summit.
And they have Clid. They also have Clid, another pretty strong player right there. Like, even a random team like FPX has pretty solid players overall. They could take off some games or some series off the big top dogs.
I mean, we're not even talking about some of the actual, like, even more well-known players. 369. Yeah, he's not the 369 from old, but he's still kind of crushing it for JD right now. Hope's out of... Where the fuck did Hope come from?
Well, he played behind... Remember, he was on RNG and he was on the bench.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Why the fuck did RNG have this guy on the bench? Like,
I mean, Gala is a good cat.
I hear Gala's pretty good. You know, he might.
Gala, yeah. But still, like, Hope even came out of fucking nowhere for me. And he just, I guess maybe, like, he was just watching Gala and now is trying to become Gala Light or something like that. I don't fucking know, man. But it's like shit like this where players just pop out of nowhere and suddenly they're just, you know,
pretty solid,
absolutely killing it.
Even a team like Weibo Gaming, they have the Shy, fucking SOFM. Angel's always been a pretty good mid laner overall. They still have Huan Feng. They have that. Are they still playing that other bad support they had? That one guy, or they switched them out? I'm confused the names on them.
They're still playing that support.
They're still playing.
Oh god,
them,
yeah. Well, they're gonna be settled for fucking maybe getting to Worlds with that guy. Whatever. I guess they want to opt into him. They randomly have Sword Art on the bench, but they're like, you know what? I'd rather take this guy who completely ints all of our games than Sword Art. That is sad, actually.
So being this is the C9 podcast, do we want to spend some time shitting on C9 for going 0-3?
No.
But they had subs.
We had... yes, there are subs.
They lost to GG.
All right, so what do you guys want to do first? LEC or LCS?
LEC.
That's the better region? The better region?
I watched all the games for that.
I watched every single game. Okay, did you guys watch Genji versus Damwon Kia? I know I did.
I don't watch LCK.
It's like I don't watch that Wong Ching Chong shit.
Oh, that Ting Tong Ling Long Bing Bong Ding Dong Ching Chong? No, I don't
God. Oh, good lord. All of my connections in esports just gone after that. You know, thank you, Warren. Good job. Thank you, man. Good lord. I'll talk about it toward the very end, actually. Okay. LCS. We'll talk about the best region ever, the LCS. No, we're doing LEC first because LCS was terrible this week.
Well, fair. I mean, when CLG's on top, there's something wrong in the world.
I mean, you know that's not gonna last. We know that's not gonna last.
It's not gonna last. I mean, we said it the same thing last season. They start out hot because, you know, you have some good veteran talent, just easy able to take off a couple of wins, but Team Liquid's easily going to crush them. So
I think Team Liquid are the best team right now in the LCS.
I think.
Easily.
Oh, no.
No contest.
What is wrong with you guys? EG's the best team.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry, who won the finals of Spring Split?
You know,
was it a 3-0 or a best of?
Luck is the hugest factor in esports ever.
Oh, okay. I last
say it was luck, but let's get through.
Bjergsen's hands literally fell off, but it's okay. No, I'm all right. So let's go over the LEC 2022 Spring Split kicked off, and here are the standings after the first Super Week. Seeing BDS at 9th place is not surprising. On my rankings, I had them at 9th, at literally 10th. I think them getting a new top laner is good, but it doesn't really matter. All their players are just shit. Like outside of Syncroft, outside of him, there's nothing really here at BDS. I know people had Astralis lower than BDS. I was like, no. At least Astralis had something to do on the map. At least they had a core idea of, okay, we might win games if we maybe cheese like this. That's better than anything Team BDS were doing. Team BDS were literally running around the map with their heads cut off. Astralis were definitely going to be at least 9th place compared to them, you know? So seeing BDS at the bottom, that's not surprising. They're absolutely garbage. That team is fucking horrible. Like, I'll say this. There was a few games where it looked like they were trying to be competitive, but it was just not. It's not working out. I'm sorry. Just GG, go next year for Team BDS. It's not working out.
Yeah, I mean, granted, when you form your team entirely off of like tier 3 people, like I feel like they basically just like waited until all the major teams had gotten their picks in, and then they were like, all right, who do we have left?
Well, from what
no one good. Shit. Okay.
From what they did, apparently during the off season, they took the academy team and they took the main team to Korea to boot camp, and they basically ran scrims to see who performed well. That's how they came up with
Aggressivo pickup.
Yeah, the Aggressivo pickup and all that. This is the roster because they combined. They literally looked at all their players. To be quite honest, it's a common. What I've been noticing over the last 2 years is that teams are starting to realize that if you have a good veteran, and what I mean by a good veteran, like an Otawamne, a Yankos, who's maybe not superstar but good player, they can mentor these rookies, these younger players that's been only.
You're saying that Adam wasn't going to be that player?
No, Adam. First of all, Adam had Bippo and what's his face, Niski.
Bippo upset, yeah.
Yeah, so when and Syncroft, he just came back, so you can't. That's a lot of pressure to put on one guy. So from what I can tell, they don't have that veteran like leadership. I think we're starting to see that with the increase of age because of how orgs are now dealing with. And I'm talking across all regions, not only LEC. With like facilities, mental health, and just how they're approaching things. Players can play longer now and perform at a high level at an older age. Remember, the myth was when you hit 24, 25, you're done. Like, I think Visitachi is 29.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the oldest player in the LEC
right now. They were saying that your reaction time starts to drop at 24. But like more and more what we're seeing, at least with like the recent metas, is yes, micro is important for like those single moment kind of outplays. But ultimately the teams that are winning are the ones that seem to be relying less on just out microing your opponents and just more out macroing them overall. Like there were so many fights, so many games that we saw in MSI where the outcome wasn't even determined by a lot of the team fights. It was already predetermined before the fight even began.
Yeah. Whether it be through like draft or how a team just didn't want to actually take any objectives. There were some of those wildcard teams where they gave up every single objective. And I'm like, you need to go home and think about what you just did. Because the pass that we're on now is very forgiving of that too.
Against a team like, yeah, I get it. Giving up objectives when you don't feel comfortable taking the fights. But the thing is like when you're at that level, some of these wildcard teams probably had never dealt with teams that you just never really felt comfortable going into a situation. Like it always felt like they're in control.
Right.
Especially RNG, just masterclass on that. Their jungler basically made every single time I watched their jungler playing, it made everyone on the map just so tentative and so unable to play aggressively. Because he just was everywhere. Like the moment someone did something aggressive, he was right there ready to punish. And
his game sense was insane.
It was insane.
I will say, I think BDS can probably ink out like maybe
9th,
8th if they might steal some wins. But I think and yes, Abstract, he is a billionaire, but we've seen in major sports, just because you're an owner doesn't mean you know how to make good decisions. And like maybe they believed in this team, we've seen teams start out at a bad win rate, had like go 0-2, 0-3, and then they end the season 10-6. So super weak. I'm gonna still say that I think they're still like a bottom team. Misfits was the biggest surprise. I thought.
Wasn't a surprise to me, honestly.
Well,
I knew they'd be this bad.
Well, I thought that at least the Hear It move was very bad, honestly.
And that wasn't their fault. He just wanted to go home. That honestly wasn't even their fault.
Right. I think that VTO is in a very bad spot right now.
Luckily, his contract is up. So, he's not staying on Misfits going into this offseason after Worlds. It's over for Misfits.
I mean, for me, Misfits is just irrelevant.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Like,
yeah, there you go.
They overperformed in spring, and it wasn't even overperforming. They got Omega gifted free games because teams kept throwing. They weren't even that good. They were actually bad.
No, it was kind of their wins felt more like the other teams bought.
Actual win trading was on stage when I saw that shit.
There was a lot of the few other games where I was just like, this. I legitimately can't even say Misfit won, and it was just the other team just straight up trying to lose.
Those G2 Fnatic games that they gave Misfits for free
was just pathetic. I was just like, is G2 just like, did all the players get on stage, all take hits from a doobie, and then we're just like, yo, it's fine. It's fine.
I will say that
Misfits, you got this, man.
This super week, kind of the murmurs as I don't know how you're going up the list or if we're continuing.
We're just going up the list.
So SK could have, I'm an SK fan. SK could have won against Mad. I think they underestimated Mad Lions. That's what I think would happen. I really think I didn't expect. I'm not delusional. I didn't expect them to beat Fnatic. They had a good lead, but they had I think they won they had a 5-1 up in kills, but then they just I don't know how they.
It was a part of the game where they were winning it, and then they just completely got out team fighting it later on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I think the Mad Lions game, because I'm gonna be honest, Armage Jace is just complete koala slobber. Like, it's just bad. It's bad. I don't know how that man got that win. If you looked up his win rate on Jace, it's horrible. Like, I don't know how he got that.
I'm pretty sure most Western top laners win percentages on Jace is bad. Just
pretty
throwing
bad.
It out there.
Pretty bad. Like, there's a reason
LEC and LCS just need to stop picking Jace.
Yeah. Eastern, this is not being racist, but Eastern players are the best Jace. Hands down.
That's definitely true, yeah.
So SK, I think they could have won. I think SK can get 6. I'm not sold on Team Vitality. Honestly, I'm really not. I think that whatever moves, I think there's kind of Team Vitality to me is reminding me of Origin, where they had all these players, high expectations, and there's something going wrong. So, but
I think Vitality is an example, a really good example of great players, bad environment. I don't think the environment's there for them to be able to pull the max potential out of their team. If every single player played to their max potential, then yes, I could actually see Vitality making a real contention for top 3.
I don't think so. I think there's too many stars on that team.
But that's what I mean. Is if in a perfect world, if all of the even if I don't know, Alphari self-made. Hell, if Perks managed to wake up for 3 or 4 games, if any of those 3 were able to, consistently perform, I think they would be able to at least present a challenge to most teams. Maybe not number 1 in the region,
right?
But I think they could at least have been competitive.
My thing now is that they have Haru now, and it looks like Haru. Yeah, they have Haru now with Perks, so it looks like that synergy is gonna get a little bit better throughout the season. But one of the things I wanted to bring up for Vitality last week that I forgot that I wanted to bring up was Alphari wanted to play with Perks, but the issue here, Perks always won against Alphari. I don't think Perks ever realized there's a reason why he kept beating Alfari and other teams. And now, so Alfari's thinking to himself, okay, I'll team up with Perks. We'll win a bunch of trophies. We'll get a lot of women. We'll get a lot of money, you know. But I think Perks might be regretting that because in the offseason, it was rumored they heavily wanted to play together. Now we see them together. I'm pretty sure Perks might be regretting this decision to get Alfari.
No, I don't think
he's not been good. I'm sorry, dude. He's not been good.
My problem is that I think they needed some. I think Karzi's not the ADC that they needed. They needed somebody else. I don't think they have too many stars. Like okay, when you look at, and I hate to go back to LPL. When you look at LPL, right? Who stands out to you? Xiao Hu and Gala. Like Ben was good because I'm talking about before the season. So Xiao Hu was like a facilitator. Gala's reliable. Like it's like they have so many people to pick from. I think the problem is, and I said this before when Sean was here and we brought it up. I said, teams need to have about 2 superstars and 3 a supporting cast, and like 2 supporting casts and 1 good player. And when you don't
Vitality needs a season 3 Piglet. That's what they need.
They also, like, even on RNG have Ming, who actively is getting into the map, trying to make things happen. Lebrov's not doing that. Lebrov is literally sitting in lane, losing.
Do you know what's so sad? The Vitality, before they broke up the team, was better than this Vitality.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
which one was that one? Wait, which one was that
Crown
one?
Shot, Leader,
oh, no, dude, that team was also
playoffs.
shit. They did, but they learned good. And those games were shit. They did. Those games were horrible. What are you talking about?
I'm just going to stand by what I said. I'm just going to stand by what I said. I think if they can make the pieces work, you could potentially see a top tier team. But I do not think Vitality has the environment or the back end staff to make that work. That requires.
I don't see them winning a trophy.
No, I don't see them winning a trophy. That, like, to make that team work, you need some like fucking like Reapered level of bullshittery and like coaching. It's just
I think Team Vitality went with the super team approach, but they forgot the main core issue about why a super team fails. Too many resources and typically with veteran players, they don't really want to switch up their play style. Usual teams that do really well have like 2 superstars and 3 new players that are willing to play different picks, and adjust their play styles throughout a split.
Think about, like, in those G2 success, they always talk about Perks and Caps, but Wonder took a hell of a backseat though that run. And Wonder was a good player, so he knew, he's like, you know what? Caps and Perks are going to carry me. I shut my mouth and I play whatever the coach wants, and I'll do whatever. Sometimes you just have to logically say to yourself, you know what? This is how we're going to win, and not have an ego or not feel like the game is played this way because you know what your win conditions are. And that's what it is.
And I think that's the reason why they picked up Haru, for that reason alone, because Selfmade was not going to be that player. That was not happening for them. Not at all.
Honestly, this is my hottest take. I don't see Rogue and Fnatic making Worlds.
Goodbye.
I don't see. I will say this. I don't see Rogues in a weird place for me because they absolutely showed that they can perform. So I'm not going to just write them off for nothing. Mm-hmm. I will say Fnatic, I'm not sold on Razork.
Razork's the Sven Skaren of Fnatic.
Yeah,
did you guys see that? Did you see that Rakan play Hylissang did in the SK gaming game? Oh my god, I wanted to stop. My sides was hurting.
That's just Hylissang.
Or he did the Rakan ult in.
The thing is, you don't grab Hylissang because he's like the most consistent. Oh my god, like greatest laning support of all time. You keep Hylissang around because there's like 3 or 4 games in a season where he basically just puts on the backpack, tells everyone to get the fuck in, and just trudges his way to the Nexus. So
I remember on the Best Damn League show, I was watching it earlier, where Yamato was talking about they kind of for Fnatic now, they're going back to the basics and seeing if any issues come up, they'll nip them. They'll like take care of them. This first week of games from Fnatic, I wasn't super convinced by them.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah,
the only game they won that was convincing was the Rogue game. And let's be honest here, Rogue did not play very well this past week. That Mad Lions game, oh my god, Comp saved their ass. They should be 0-3 right now if it wasn't for Comp playing out of his mind on Ezreal. Like,
I'm happy that motherfucker didn't make. That motherfucker was talking so much shit. I was so happy when come on, he was talking a lot of smack.
I love trash talk. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but then he's like boo-hoo and crying that he didn't make MSI. Shut the fuck up, kid.
And I like trash talk when it gets to the point where the players are basically going after one another. I don't like trash talk when they're being like, someone else took my spot at MSI. It's like, no, you got outplayed. Deal with it. I loved the double lift era of trash talk where he's like, amazing. Yo, I'm the best. Everyone else is trash. And then like the players go after him. Like he spoke his mind, and now they're having to, now he's having to prove it. That's the kind of trash talk I love.
I agree with Intensive. I don't see. You think I'm laughing? I think.
I think you guys are week one overreactions. I think you guys are overreacting.
It's not an overreaction. I just don't. Rogue is like kind of exposed from the playoffs and these games. I feel like they're exposed.
I don't know, man. I think it's the patch. Like the patch doesn't really effectively help their players. Because remember, last split, they were actually a very good early aggressive team.
The patch should help them.
The patch slowed down how to play the game, though. The patch literally slowed down to play the game.
But
last split, they had the fastest early game stats. What are you talking about? They literally won games in like 20 minutes, essentially. 27 minutes.
Most of the time, Rogue is perennially known as a slower team. And what does this patch do?
Not this last split. This last split, they were the fastest team.
They
in the
were not sub 20
game.
minutes. They had to be at least 24, 25.
Even if they were 25, they were pretty much still the fastest team in the league.
I will agree, though. MSK is right. They were predominantly a faster team, but earlier in the when they first started their kind of like win streak or like right at the top, they were predominantly slower. And then as the split progressed, they turned into this predominant early game. I think it's just a matter of them having to basically readjust again. Because remember, it took them most of their wins in the early stages did take a lot of time, and they were a bit shaky. And so I'm not writing off Rogue just yet. If next week the trend continues where teams basically systematically pick them apart in picks and bans, that's for me the big part. Like they did not seem to be getting the comps and the drafts that they were kind of looking for. Not all the way. They were kind of getting there, but they were getting like their like tier 2, tier 3 picks to make the comp kind of work. So I think if we don't see that, if the teams continue to pick them apart like that, then I will agree with you, and I would say it's looking bad for them. Right off the bat, though, I can't condemn them just immediately.
Yeah, because that's still week one overreaction, though.
No, well, I'm looking at how they performed against G2 as well, going into how they lost in the playoffs as well. Remember, that was their last, and they, like, I don't know if you saw their faces, but they looked like after game 2, they were done. Like, their faces like, you know what, chop my head off, put a bullet, torture me.
See their heads after that Man Lions game? They didn't want to be there. They're like, that's not a proud game you win right there.
Yeah, like I okay, maybe they will make. Okay, I can see them making playoffs. The thing is, I think a lot of teams have figured out what's his name? I forgot the jungler name for Rogue.
Oh, Malrong.
Yeah, I think they've figured out Malrong. I think they had a split to look over his stuff and figure out, okay, this guy is captain, is MLXG, but a little bit better. That's what I'm looking at. Otawamne, Larson is it's a hard. I just don't think Larson's at that level. Like he's better than Niski, but he's never gonna be better than Caps. He's like right in the middle, and that's a problem for me.
Okay, but name one mid laner right now who you think legitimately could be better than Caps.
Wow.
I better not say
I know, right?
Okay.
Blow my brains out.
All right. Well,
like, what are you gonna say? De Jure? Like,
oh, dude, best middle in LEC, man. Yeah.
Actually, okay. Well,
De Jure.
Yes, I actually can see him because he has talent. He's with who he has.
Man's capping.
No, I'm not capping. He solo kill Caps.
Nuke Duck, best mid
No.
How the fuck is Nuke Duck still relevant?
How is Bird seems real relevant?
Fun fact. XL wanted to get Niski, so they actually wanted to get rid of Nuke Duck. They didn't have the money to pay the buyout for Fanatics. That Fnatic was offering.
That's the problem with small orgs. Like that's a problem right there. Mm-hmm. That's with the smaller org. But all right, Trackhawk, I will rescind and say, okay, maybe this was a fluke week. Like I said, some teams have a bad start and they come back and win.
We'll see going in. If next week and the week after we see more of the same, I will. That's when I start to like see the warning bells go off, see the flag go up, and I'm like, whoa. This isn't good.
This week, yes, I agree. It did look bad from them, but it is week 1, and remember, the patch is not good for their players. I want to stress the patch is not good for their players. The patch has significantly slowed down the playstyle that Rogue had last split. Because Malrong, early aggressive jungler, that playstyle specifically not favored on the patch they're playing on. It's more or less so they want you to scale up in the old way of playing League, right? Scale up to like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, team fight and win. The way Rogue were playing last split, that's pretty counterintuitive to how they want to play right now. So I don't know.
And is anyone really surprised that G2 is succeeding like immediately?
They're 17-0.
Yes, you want to know why? They should not be 3-0. Well, the reason I say that is because
their games are pretty stompish, man.
Because the thing is, their players are individually good. Typically, most teams coming out of MSI are
they have that
pretty
slump,
bad. Yeah, like remember last year, and I'm gonna use RNG. They started off 0-9. People don't remember
they were looking rough. They were looking rough out there. They were looking really rough. Yeah.
Okay, so people forget about that. They started at a bad record. Same thing with C9. They weren't that good. They're just.
It could be the opposite. It could be that they might start really strong, but then they might have that slump toward the very end.
I expect G2 to lose one game this week because I think with now footage playing them, even the Astralis game, their early game wasn't that bad. Like considering,
but when it became to like 20 minutes in, they just got completely gapped hard as fuck.
Yeah. Like,
I'll say the early games. I'll say this for the LEC: the early games were really skirmish heavy, really, really close actually. But you saw the better teams play out the actual team fighting better, and the better teams that make the better decisions toward getting objectives too. And a lot of the games were stomps too. No one brought that up in any shows that I watched. Most of the games I watched between LCS and LEC this week, all of them were stomps. A lot of them were complete blowouts. Like, go home, get off the stage type games.
I stomp your girlfriend.
I mean, like,
so does everyone.
The funny thing is the only problem that I can see from G2 right now is I'm not gonna lie, that XL game, maybe they were just kind of playing it out as the safest way humanly possible. Mm-hmm. But like they could have ended that game so much earlier, and so I could see that potentially like getting too comfortable in slow, even in slow play styles, has come back to bite even the best teams. We saw SKT absolutely get rocked when the patch changed even slightly to start to favor more early game focus. Yeah. So that is the only way that I could see G2 potentially not making it to finals and being a top 3 contender.
They're worlds. They're making worlds. That's not I'm not delusional about that one.
There's a world.
Oh, stop it.
No, there isn't. Okay,
stop.
I'll stop fucking with you.
The thing is, I think with XL and
Astralis being right here that's not staying. That's a joke there.
They're
dropping pretty hard. Let's be honest here.
I think I wish Vitio was on XL because
I think that would work out for him, man. Like the last thing I wanted to bring up for Misfits was that you know how we were talking about the patch and the meta shifting over from certain players. Shalaton's best jungler is not in the meta. Lee Sin is gone. Most of the champions that they played good from the last patch, the last Prince was on, they're all gone.
Yeah.
Viego's still good.
Viego's always good.
Viego's just OP as fuck. Like SK Gaming, I was surprised by how decent SK Gaming had gotten. I think they'll be that middle of pack team, borderline playoffs, making playoffs kind of team. Actually, they might just get 7.
Who's the top 3 for you?
Me?
Oh,
obviously minus
G2.
We all know G2's top 3.
I think Mad Lions. If you had
a cap,
Mad Lions played extremely well this week.
That's cap. Nope, I don't see them.
Or if you say top 4, I would say Fnatic, Mad Lions, and I would still throw Rogue in there because I think they can actually bounce back. But from this past week of game alone, Mad Lions played amazing in their games. You can't tell me they didn't.
Okay,
they look completely different with Niski. Well, at least revitalized. I don't say different. Revitalized with Niski.
I can't do it. I'm gonna say G2 XL Fnatic.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna change up one thing. I'm gonna say G2 Fnatic and Rogues instead of XL. XL, I think I put more in 4th place.
I don't think they're bad. But I think I have a weird thing with XL. I don't think they're exactly bad. I think they're just not as good
pound
as
for pound, right? If you go like Wonder's better than Finn. I'll say that. Marcoon is better than Razork. Let's not even think about that. Okay.
What do you mean? Razork's the best jungler in the LEC? What are you talking about?
Humanoid is better than Nuke Duck. I'm not delusional. Patrick is better. Patrick is even with Upset. I can hands down. Patrick has always been consistent.
Yeah.
Patrick's
and Mickey is good, and Hillisang is good. So the only real kind of is your top and your mid that you're kind of iffy about.
Yeah, dude, because there's been games Humanoid has not had the best games, man. I don't want to say this, man, but he looks like he's not the best fit for Fnatic. I'm just saying, man. Like, there's been games this guy's been completely gapped in, and people tell you he's the best mid laner. That's ridiculous. We literally watch him getting gapped consistently.
MSK, at the end of the day, these players, I don't blame them for joining Fnatic. It has a historic, if I was on, say, remember, Selfmade started on SK, right? And then Fnatic picked him up. Are you really gonna say, nah, Fnatic, I'm gonna stay at small org SK?
No, I know it's a good move for.
No, it's like
his
if
brand.
the Red Sox call you up, you're not gonna.
It's good for his brand. It's just when I see his games on Twisted Fate and shit, dude, it looks so bad. My God, I get frustrated watching his game because I know he can play better than that. Maybe it's just how Razork and his synergy is. Maybe it's just that. But I'm just not confident Humanoid is the mid laner for Fnatic anymore.
I think Elioya should have been on Fnatic.
There was the rumor that was going to happen, but in esports, things that are rumors don't generally come out true, actually. But at least if you hear whispers of them, that means potentially in off seasons things might change, actually.
So do you think Mad Lions is the dark horse that could make rumblings? Could see at least
if you just take this week, if you just take only this week's games in isolation, they did look a whole lot cleaner. Dude, their games were clean as hell. Their macro was great.
I would say the 3 teams that I'm gonna be keeping at least a side eye on are Misfits, Vitality, and Lions. Misfits just because history, Lions because of this week, and Vitality just because of the remaining teams, they're the only one that I would say has the star power to actually challenge any of the top 3 and maybe break into top 5. I don't think they have the backing for it, but if we're just talking purely teams I'm going to keep an eye on, it's going to be those 3. Because the chances of Rogues, Fnatic, and XL not battling for 2nd place or 3rd place, it's.
I think the battle of 2nd and 3rd will go to. I think the battle of 2nd and 3rd are going to go to Rogue and Fnatic and Mad Lions, actually, because I think XL will edge out at that 4th, 5th place still. Like, I don't think they're bad. I really don't, but I'm not super confident in them long term.
I'm not that confident in Mad Lions to make that prediction.
I'm going to keep an eye on XL, Astralis, and Team. So why I say Astralis is I think it's not fair for instance, Finn, when he came back in his first split, played well. Niski, when he came back, he played pretty well. With Fnatic. Like, remember the structure and the culture over in LCS. Even Perks, even though they played pretty bad Vitality, they still made playoffs. And
Perks actually played well.
Yeah, so you could say that when the LEC players went to NA and then came back, they played pretty well. And I don't think Xerxes is a bad. I think for me, Xerxes is a better. When I look at him, he reminds me of Xmithy. That's what I think about.
To be honest, the only reason I don't necessarily keep Astralis in the in like the top 5 kind of area is mostly because I see every single one of their players as a second-rate or third-rate version of other players on other teams.
Well,
so like
to be fair, like think about this, right? They're doing. Like, Kabe has been in. First of all, I think Vander and Kabe was a good bot lane. I don't know what the fishy was on when they got rid of that bot lane. They went to a best of 5 with Fnatic that ended up
because Zhang Hoon is honestly in every statistical manner is supposed to be better.
Yes. Let's see. My things on Astralis, I don't think they'll last long term at this rate right here. I think week 1 has blown people's like general proportions on how they think about these teams out of the water, because people make predictions and they go, "Oh my god, my predictions might not be right going in." I promise you, Astralis are not going to be in playoffs, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be around 7th, 8th.
No, I think they
make playoffs, man.
I think they make playoffs. I don't think they go far in playoffs. I'm thinking playoffs round 2, like second round playoffs at best. Like at best. And
no way, man. I just don't see it, man.
That's
I'm not drinking this Astralis Kool-Aid.
Well, okay, so if
that's
you guys
like the CLG effect, right?
Okay,
wait. CLG effect, hell yeah.
If you guys if you had to pick your 6 teams right now that's making playoffs, just for this week, we can change it up once we'll see the results later at the end.
Okay, other than G2. So basically their other 5 teams.
Other 5 teams.
Rogues, Vitality, XL, Fnatic. I'm sorry, but I think Mad Lions a flash in the pan. I would go Astralis over Mad Lions. Right now, at least. Misfits and SK are 2. Oh, that's actually tough. Fuck. Astralis has better potential for consistency, but SK and Misfits had better like highbrow like talent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck, that's tough.
For me, I would go just right here: XL, Fnatic, Mad Lions, Team Vitality, and Rogue. Right? Because that'd be 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Yeah. Right here. I don't think this is lasting. I'm not. Nope. I know they're not that good.
They've got the years though. They've got the years backing so many of their players, and CLG proved, unfortunately, that at least for a little bit of time, it can actually work. And I have a lot more faith in the veteran EU players than I do of the veteran LCS.
I think they might actually compete with Astralis for 7th. I think that's their ceiling.
No way. I'm gonna say this. Like you said, G2's the number 1. So my 5 is gonna be XL. Has been murmured as scrim gods, and they've proven themselves. So I'm going to XL.
Yep.
I'll put Fnatic because they're Fnatic. I think Vitality can make it. As much as I don't want to put Rogue, I'll put Rogue. Now, the 5th is the hard part because, like you said, there's SK, there's Misfits. I'm going to put Astralis because I think they, like I said, with Kabe pulling out the Vigar was a big, like, to me, that shows that they're learning how to draft different and pull out surprises. So that might throw teams off. So I'm gonna put Astralis because I feel like Astralis is a safe 16. Like out of SK, even though I'm an SK fan, out of SK, Misfits, and Astralis seems safe.
Astralis is the safe bet. I will say Mad Lions, they did look awesome this week. It's just I'm not going to put any faith in Mad Lions until they do it 2 weeks in a row. If they can do 2 weeks, then I can slowly like dip my toe into the hype pool.
Yeah, and look who they played against as well.
Well, yeah, because the strength of schedule too. Who did Astralis play? G2, okay, automatic loss.
Automatic loss, yeah.
And then Astralis beat someone who they're early on preseason rankings they're supposed to be tied with. Okay, cool. And they played against Misfits. So they had one really strong team to play against, and the other bottom teams they're competing with. I can't, dude. I can't put them there.
I can see them beating Rogue, though. I can really see them beating Rogue.
Right now in Rogue's form,
or
Vitality.
I can see them beating Rogue or Vitality, though.
They play, they play SK Gaming. They play the other team you favor in the LEC. They play the first game. Match of the week right there, baby. Astralis versus SK. Match of the century right there. Holy shit. Fucking hell. All right, guys. I think we got it enough in for the LEC. But
predictions.
I don't have enough time.
Time to step into the shit.
Let's go to the LCS, boys.
Koala slobber. Here we go. Look at it.
Hell, LCS, baby. CLG. Big Dokes. Oh. He's dead. My boy K4 Poland said it last week. Big Dokes. It's over for the league.
Man. Halal guy needs to come down. He's not going anywhere.
Oh my god.
I like how Dokla was just shit talking Gamsu. It's like, Dokla, come on, you're probably barely making playoffs. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay. What do you guys want to start with? Let's get this is called the Cloud9 podcast. Let's get Cloud9 out of the way first. Let's get the big dog out of the way first. As you guys know, Berserker lost his passport, and they had passport issues overall. They had to do a lot of roster swaps with their academy team, putting up King and Destiny into the main roster. And yeah, the results showed. Fudge, Blabber, and Jensen, hats off to them. They played great. Jensen's return back to the LCS. He played great.
Yeah, I can't. I agree.
It was like Joseph Pion was like, can't wait to clap Budget Beerson. Bro, you got absolutely murdered. Don't even try, JoJo. I love you, JoJo, but nah, man, you got completely clapped, dude. It wasn't even fair. Beerson, yes. I don't like saying this, but I'm a fair guy. Beerson did beat Jensen pretty handily in their rematch. I'll say that. But I think Fudge, Blabber, and Jensen played great. King and Destiny are fucking garbage. They gave King 2 summer splits to prove himself. King is bad. He's just not good. I'm sorry.
I have a question. What's wrong
Destiny just sucks. Destiny has no eyes, brain, or head, apparently.
And Sven,
he's playing support.
Why didn't Sven
I'm pretty sure his passport didn't get accepted or his visa or something like that.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
no,
right,
Sven was physically there. This is a common thing that we see. When they're trying to build synergy with the bot lane, they don't scrim or play the players like mixed matched unless they absolutely have to. Because as soon as imagine Sven comes in and starts playing with Berserker and everything like that, and then I'm not going to say that
makes sense.
It's suddenly everything turns around because they've just been like,
it's better to keep synergy with 2 players already together
versus you put Sven in. Sven would be taking support, so King, and suddenly Sven has to like play completely differently to try and cover for King or something like that.
Right.
I can follow their logic at the very least.
That's why I said that this is a lie. When I look, not a lie. This is fake.
This is a lie.
This is fake. Because I if you give them, I honestly think you have Berserker Sven. Sven always, if you look at his ladder, he's always top 10 no matter what. This guy.
If you have looked at Berserker streams, he's popping off pretty hard.
Dude, Berserker is terrifying.
Queue. He's doing the champions queue. He's doing solo queue. Like this is like fake to me.
This is fake.
It's fake. Like this is fake. I don't see.
We have to clip that.
Because
it's fake
come on,
news.
man. Come on. If I say who's making, like, I still have C9. C9's making playoffs. I don't care what anybody tells me. This is fake news. This is Dignitas, they deserve where they are. They're not even worth talking about. So
yeah, like I was gonna say, let's talk about Dignitas. No one coming to this show wanted to hear that opinion of me talking about Dignitas. I'm glad they got Gamsu. Fake God was terrible. Good, congrats. You're still gonna be 10th place.
Yeah, the fact that they like even going through their through the changes that they were trying to pull in, it was just anyone who thought to themselves, man, Dignitas is making the moves to be competitive during the preseason is just like
Abstract, you're on coke. Don't ever say that again. Please don't say that again.
I'll say this. Yeah. Cloud9 looked competitive in their game against EG, but King was like, you know what? I'll just tank Corky Rockets blank to the face as an ADC. And Destiny, I don't think C9 even had a support. Did C9 have a support for these last games? Because that guy was really trying to run it down. But Destiny's always been bad. He was shitty on Origin. He was shitty on Immortal.
I don't want to say they're shitty. The problem is I would call them this. These are Academy players. If we watch them in Academy, I'm sure the story would be different where we wouldn't be like, oh, they're complete dog trash. The problem is their top end, their absolute top performance, the best that they can be is Academy players. That's it.
Yeah. The best LCS shots they'll ever give is on teams like Dig, FlyQuest, Immortals.
Yeah. They are middle of the pack players at best. And when you throw them onto a team where you have Fudge, Blabber, and Jensen,
they're going to automatically look like the weakest.
They're automatically going to look absolutely terrible next to arguably some of the best players currently in the league for their positions. It's just
right.
I don't want to call them like pure dog shit. They're not the caliber of players.
It's fake.
Yeah, they're not the caliber of players.
You can say it's fake. It's fake what you're looking at.
I'm not going to say it's fake because they did lose those matches. What I am going to say is I don't see this remaining once they actually get their major roster. I'm not going to treat this.
They said they're going to have their main roster coming into this week. Actually,
yeah. This isn't a Team Liquid where it's like, oh, Team Liquid's going to be completely different when Broxta shows up.
I remember.
No, this is 100%. They'll be competitive. Are they going to be top 3?
Yes,
that remains to be seen.
I think they'll be top 3 or top 4.
I have no question.
I'm not going to say that without.
You can
without
clip me right now. They're going to be top 3.
I'm not going to say it because unfortunately, I will say this: EG and Team Liquid. While EG did look a little bit shaky against Cloud9, Team Liquid looked like
the best team. By just the games from this past week, they looked like the best team. They were doing claps, dude.
They were the best team in last split too.
No, technically no.
What happened?
Cloud9 were in first place most of the split. What are you talking about?
I like to use facts, not feelings. Who won last split? I like to use
facts, not feelings. Okay, right now we're talking about the regular season of Summer Warren right now.
That doesn't matter. It matters who wins.
What are you talking about? We're the present.
Okay, whatever.
Are we the past?
My point is, okay, the reason I have Sven is he's been
going to the past, guys. See you later. Good.
He's
keep going.
I didn't find my dad.
He's consistent. I like Sven. I think he was put in an unfortunate situation with what's happening right now. I'm gonna say that he's gonna be better than even who he had support because Sven works really hard. He's always been known as a hard worker. Even Bjergsen has said this. Many people have commented on this. And Berserker is good. I mean, I'm not a Cloud9 aficionado, but I honestly think that, 1, they're going to make playoffs, and 2, they're going to make Worlds. You can clip that right now because I know that Jensen has something to prove. And if they're struggling, think about that. Think about the games they had. The team struggled against subs. They should have just... The other team should have just clapped them easy. They didn't clap them that
girlfriend
easy.
Or something?
I mean, she's kind of,
Oh, okay. I'll say this. I think outside of the... Okay, EG... Okay, let's go. Okay, so Dignitas we covered. Cool. Cloud9, we know they're not staying 9th place. I'm pretty sure they're going to bounce back with Berserker and Sven. TSM... It's crazy to me how Immortals just gives TSM free games. Every single... Both this splits, Immortals just gives TSM a free game. They literally could have won their game against them.
I'm not going to lie. Unlike EU, there's no question who the top 5 teams are going to be this season. there isn't a question. There isn't like dark horse teams that are suddenly going to make it into top 5. The bottom tier teams are just so trash, and it's not even funny. What was TSM thinking? Honestly, there's the I
Their
struggle
games
to
looked
understand.
really bad. I love how people were like, Maple and Spica looked great. I'll give them that. Maple looked as good as I thought he was going to be. Top 3 mid laner. Spica, top 4 jungler. But those are players you expect to be good. So that's not a bonus for them.
Have though.
Tactical. That guy Mia looked. I'm not saying he was a bad pickup right now, but I don't know. He didn't look convincing. I'll say that. Tactical pretty much looked the same. Huni just looked like shit.
Shenyi and Mia are gonna be fighting for that position, so we might see Shenyi come in. And I've watched his game. He's pretty good. He knows his English has gotten way better after watching his champions too. I don't see TSM breaking top 5. I can see them getting the 6th spot though.
I agree. About 6th, 7th. That's where I had them at, honestly.
The only other team that I would say has the potential even to challenge them is maybe Immortals, and that's only if Power of Evil suddenly like reverts back to like 2016.
No, the Power of Evil
Are you being held hostage right now? Did you
Oh Lord, Power of Evil just got back, so they couldn't scrim with him. They only had like limited game practice with him. The fact that they had limited game practice with PoE and they almost beat TSM, that is scary. That's not
Revenge is still trash though.
That is true. Yes.
That
guy lost his mega trash.
Lost in the LCS.
Lost is in the multiverse of madness.
Yeah. Ignar, I still don't know how Ignar remains relevant. Ignar and Afromu are in this realm of like, how are there no other supports for you to pick up?
I think with Ignar this past week through the picks and bans, I don't think he got champions that really reflected his actual ability. They gave him Renata. Like he's
that's not an Ignar champ. He's more of
a Rakan Alistar player.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Like Lost is just trash. That guy sucks. Yeah. Remember that part where he was on Kalista? He knew someone was there because they just ganked him and walked up and died. I was like, okay, no, I'm done. Yeah. This guy is complete garbage.
No, Lost's game sense has always been questionable at best.
Kenvi, I thought looked pretty solid in his debut. I thought it looked solid.
No, totally fine. And that's why I'm saying like I could see Immortals potentially being like a back and forth with TSM. You know, TSM taking a little bit of star power consistency. If maybe maybe one of their rookies magically shows themselves to be like a fucking god. Who knows there? Golden Guardians and Dignitas, and I would even say FlyQuest.
FlyQuest, I think, are going to be as good as they always are. They're always middle of the pack. Their players play well when the teams with other better players don't perform very well, so they look better by comparison.
The Golden Guardians' only win was to Cloud9, and the only reason they won was because they literally just spent the entire game going, okay, don't look at Blabber or Jensen or Fudge. Just they're over there in their own thing. Just it's 5v2. Destiny and King versus us. We can win this. Yeah. It gives me great confidence in them. So yeah, it's.
What did you guys think about 100 Thieves? I mean, they lost to EG, so that's definitely gonna sting for them. They lost to them again after the Spring Split Finals, but I thought they looked solid overall. They're about as good as I think they'll be a top 3 team. I think they look solid in their games. Abadage looked not like he did in his spring form, because that spring form from Abadage was bad.
Yeah.
His Ahri play was great this week. Those Ahri jukes, got it going on, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest fluke Warren will probably talk about is CLG being 3-0. CLG.
That's fake news.
Is anyone considering CLG to actually be in the top 3?
Oh hell no! They're on
cocaine. No. So at that point, we write them off with the rest of the bottom trash tier teams, and we just all pretend that we just had a fever dream, in which contracts managed to take games off of any other jungler in the entire league. I shouldn't be that mean to contracts. It's fine. They've got Palafox contracts in Luger. I guess they like the.
I think Luger played great. I think that guy is a good ADC. Actually,
and I guess like Dokala's not trash tier. their team is okay, and okay was good enough to get them through this week.
I don't know if okay will get them through.
What's their strength of schedule? Like, who are they going to go up against?
Also, people that factor in when some of these teams went 3-0 or 2-1. Strength of schedule matters for some teams. It really does. Like who's starting 0-4?
If Cloud9 can't beat Dignitas of all teams, that's when I think the Waldo. How do you pronounce his last name? Waldro.
Max Waldo.
Max Waldo. That's when Max walks down. He just takes King and Destiny. He puts them in a box, and then he proceeds to slap the remaining 3 players and just like, how the fuck did you lose to Dignitas?
Are they getting back Sven and Berserker?
Are they getting? Are they getting?
Them. Yeah.
Oh no, this is a 2-all week.
So
C9 faces 100 Thieves.
Okay.
There's 2 match of the weeks here. C9 taking on 100 Thieves, and TSM taking on Team Liquid.
I have C9 beating them both.
Okay. Team Liquid, TSM.
I might as well just go through mine. 100T. TL, as much as I like, you know what? I'm a cap TSM, EG, and FlyQuest. My FlyQuest will beat CLG. That's just fake news. And then I have TSM, TL, C9, EG, IMT. That's my picks.
Okay. This strength of schedule should C9. It's hard to say. If they go 1-1, I'm not surprised because 100 Thieves is not a bad team. 100 Thieves actually has had their number for the past games they've played. So I'm not surprised if 100 Thieves beat them. Team Liquid, I think, are going 2-0. Golden Guardians, I think it's possible TSM goes 2-0 this week, actually. But, okay, CLG's strength of schedule is FlyQuest and EG. If CLG start 4-1, I'm scared.
No.
No,
there
man.
is. Okay, so let's just go through this. CLG won versus Dignitas, Golden Guardians, and TSM. Now, I'm not gonna stand on a box and say that IMT is better than all those 3 teams, because I'm just gonna get on a box and say yes, IMT is better than all those teams, and CLG is going to lose these next 2 games, and we're all finally gonna breathe a sigh of relief and wake up from this fucking fever dream where everyone seems to think that they are actually capable of accomplishing something. They're
like
not.
Win World?
End story. You're huffing some grade A copium there, man.
I'm not copium.
That is CLG, like spoon feeding you hopium. Copium and hopium put together. I see C9 should take both of those games. I think 100 Thieves is at least going to be. I see that just because they don't have the scrim time under their belt. I see that potentially being a bit of a clown fiesta, potentially a bit of a back and forth game. Could be interesting. If they don't dumpster Dignitas, then I'm concerned. 100 Thieves should beat Golden Guardians. TL, if they don't beat TSM. Granted, TSM is TL's kryptonite. For some reason. Lord have mercy on that. And FlyQuest should definitely EG should beat EMT. FlyQuest should beat CLG. Standard fare. I would say GG versus TSM might be the most competitive match of the week.
That's what I'm talking about. There you go.
That's your most entertaining one.
That's the match
TL
of the week right there.
Fly. C9 100 Thieves. That could be a good game, or we could just see a one-sided slaughter. The EG should absolutely just dumpster CLG, and IMT should dumpster Dig. So,
yeah, I would say C9, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, EG, FlyQuest, TSM, Team Liquid, C9, EG. Immortals. I felt disgusting.
I know, right?
Say that.
I know, right? Saying Immortal wins, but it's versus Dignitas, so it's okay.
Let me go back to the LEC. The match of the week for the LEC would be like what? Team Vitality versus G2. Yeah,
arguably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we went.
Mad Lions versus Fnatic.
That could be fun. Yeah.
Okay. Did you go through these or?
I don't think we did.
Okay, I guess I'll go.
Yeah, sure.
I got the tough. That's a tough game, but I'm gonna say Astralis. I see Astralis is gonna beat them. Oh my god,
such a capper!
I'm not capping. That's like SK. SK could have beat Matt.
This is the must see League of Legends right here, right?
XL, okay, yeah. XL.
Battle for bottom.
I'm gonna go with the dark horse. I think MSF can actually beat Rogue. They're gonna get their first win.
Ooh.
G2. And then Fnatic, because Mad Lions will realize that they're just an okay team. SK, XL. I'm going to go with Astralis again, and Fnatic G2.
I'm going to change things up a little bit. I am going to agree with you. I think Astralis can beat SK. SK just looked too rocky. I'm going to throw in a bit of a spice, though. I'm going to say Vitality, just because XL still relatively new, so potential for them to just kind of like star power their way through. I think Rogues should beat Misfits, although Misfits has been playing well. G2 is just going to absolutely dumpster, and it's just going to be a question of how quickly they decide to end the game. There's no chance of BDS. Fnatic should beat Mad Lions, but if Mad Lions comes out swinging like they did before, could be. Misfits' first win should be versus SK. XL should beat Mad Lions because Mad Lions will be just like absolutely demoralized by Fnatic, no doubt. Fnatic will just be like, "No, you're a bottom 5 team," and the Mad Lions is like, "Well, we're a bottom 5 team," and XL will just be like, "Yeah, that's right, that's where you belong." I think Rogue should beat Astralis, but that I think would actually be probably the most competitive game of the week. Rogues versus Astralis, at least theoretically. Fnatic, and then G2. Like if Vitality beats G2, that would be very interesting at the very at least. I would say that would take some serious G2 fuck up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll say SK Gaming in my butt. No, I'm just kidding. Astralis is going to win. Astralis, XL, Rogue, G2. Mad Lions looked better last week, so I'm saying Mad Lions. This one, SK Gaming. I think Mad Lions has a 2-0 week on their hands right here. Rogue is going to get that nice 2-0. Fnatic's going to beat down BDS for having Adam talking shit about Upset's wife. That's what Fnatic's goal for this game.
Yeah.
Fnatic, and then match of the week right here, G2
versus Vitality.
G2 should definitely clap the shit out of them. I don't think it's even close. As Lab on Twitter made it. Like, G2's ball in is way better. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people think that Flacket's like overrated. I don't think no one overrates Flacket. I think he's just playing good.
Yeah, I think Flacket is good. I just think LEC analysts, they just suck out the players too hard. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Like they kind of like over suck off players so much, where it's like, no, Flacket's just good. I would say great right now. He's just. But what's wrong with ever just being good nowadays? Like, you can't be good nowadays. You have to be great or you're trash. It's like, no, you can.
We were just talking about this. You don't want another superstar. You don't want to fucking double lift on G2.
Yeah.
You have Claps, Yankos, and Broken Blade when he's like not, I don't know, huffing glue. You don't need another like superstar ultra carry. Flacked played totally fine.
Flacket played, he played actually even above expectations at MSI. Yeah. He carried that form over. I think it's good. Like, you understand, having just 2 superstar players is fine. That's good enough.
And when you and when I say homegrown, when you take a player that's, say, quote unquote, a rookie, because he's like 21, 22, and then he gets to, he can just like understand the system. Eventually, Yankos is not going to be playing forever. Caps, I think he signed an extension. Eventually he'll become a superstar. But like you said, like Trackhawk said, it's okay that he's good right now. Maybe another split or 2, he becomes to that superstar level.
Him being a solid rock for his team is more than what most ADCs can provide. Like,
and it's really what they need right now. Like, they don't need someone who's going to be, just flat hard carrying games. They just need someone in the back behind their big three players, who, if their big three players manage to somehow magically shit the bed, well, congratulations, you've gotten past Broken Blade, Yankos, and Caps. Guess what? Now you have a Flagged who's still going to potentially 1v5 you. Like,
even in some of his games, he actually has carried games. Yeah. Like, he's been what they need for an ADC player. He's been what they needed. Like, Broken Blade has been not that good for them, but in this past week, he looked all right. You know, I think you would say Broken Blade is the miss guy of the team right now. Targamas looks fine. You know, that's just my thing. I think people have to understand.
No, 100%.
Some players don't have to look. It's this mentality of looking flashy. He doesn't do flashy plays, so he doesn't get looked at as that guy. But there can be different play styles to be considered good. I don't know why it's always this one or the other with people when they talk about League of Legends, dude. It's always, no, you have to be flashy. You got to go in and get the 1v9 pentakill. It's like, no. Jackie Love won a world championship just playing good League of Legends. He did have Rookie in the Shy, but when there was games where Rookie in the Shy didn't carry, Jackie Love definitely stepped up to the plate and carried for them.
I mean, if you want to go like just straight hard back to, you know, unorthodox, kind of behind the scenes carry, Fun plus Phoenix.
Right.
In that, like, end of story.
LWX.
Exactly. Like, you took a team that everyone just wrote off. You took a mid laner. People still talk about this, how their mid laner basically never played meta champions, and it worked.
Sneaky was always a guy who would carry games. He was never the star, but he always carried games whenever it was given to him. Actually, not against Uzi. We don't talk about that Uzi game he had, because that was gross. I would have been demoralized playing up against that guy. When he played Uzi played Kaisa against his Xayah.
Oh, that was
a slaughter. Even when they won against RNG the next time, he still was rough for him. He was like, damn, I can't beat this guy. I mean, if Doublelift can't beat Uzi, there's no way Sneaky can. It just pretty much goes like that. If your best ADC in the region can't beat that guy, then I imagine your second best ADC won't fare very well against him. The only takeaway from the LEC that I saw no one really bringing up is, like, I know people give Fnatic the benefit of the doubt, but dude, their games looked
That's what I said, MSK. I literally said I wouldn't be surprised. I'm telling you, one of those two teams.
Maybe it's just week one. Maybe that's overreacting.
It's week one, but I'm telling you, because of just things that happened last split and how this is starting off, I would not be surprised if Fnatic or Rogue, one of those teams, is not making Worlds. And you're going to be shocked because considering their rosters and what their history that they've built up over the last year.
I'm not going to lie. It's not that it wouldn't surprise me. It's just like,
who's going to fold first?
It basically, yeah. I think it would be for Rogue and Fnatic both to miss. It wouldn't so much require another team to be better, because I think there are teams that have potential to at least, equal and potentially be competitive against those teams. It's just, it requires Rogue and Fnatic to equally just fall off the bus. So it'll be interesting, because I guess in LEC it's going to come down to who can go the distance. Like, we don't talk about G2 not going to Worlds because, frankly speaking, G2 not going to Worlds would require the implosion of their organization, like their CEO.
Like last year?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. But even then, it was like,
it was very close still. It was
still really close. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say Rogues like completely dominated G2. No,
my thing here is maybe them having this somewhat strong start to the LEC 2022 spring split for G2 might come back to bite them in the ass, because sometimes you would go because teams in traditional sports as well as this one, you have that slump. What if they have their slump toward the back end of the split, and that's when they can't fix a new issue?
So you're saying that they're going to be, you think that it's possible, I mean, it could happen, and we've seen it happen to Origin, that they go 8-7 and 11 or 8-10 and have to do like a tiebreaker game?
For G2, no. I just think there's gonna be problems for them not having a slump, because it happens to every team. At some point, you will have a slump. You'll lose a random game. They can't figure out the issue. Then it blows over to the next week and the next week, and then it just keeps cycling out. I mean, Cloud9 went through a hard slump after they beat Team Liquid in that last game they played last split. They had a hard slump after that. They didn't even recover from the slump. So that's just my thing.
I mentioned something. I didn't think it was healthy that LCS and LEC both went through their lower bracket without being challenged, and that to me either said that the either two things: either the scouting and the planning was just not good, or teams were just underestimating, say, EG and underestimating G2. So I think that this is why I think teams aren't going to make the same mistakes that they did come playoffs, come this season, because now they have, material to look at, and they're gonna see, okay, this is what this guy does, this is what this guy do. So this is why I say I wouldn't be surprised that if this is super weak, it's always gonna be, topsy turvy. I think this will be probably a more competitive.
This is shaping it to be a really competitive LEC split.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be more competitive than LCS, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, LCS is winning worlds. What are you talking about? Come on.
Yeah. When has LCS ever been, like, super competitive outside of the big three? Like...
Yeah. We just now got a big five. I mean, we just now got a big five.
We have a big five now.
We finally have a big five.
We thought of a big five. Before it was literally just big three. That's it. Go home. Done.
And even then, it's like... I hate to say it, but there's a clear distinction between top 3 and top 5. It's like, I feel like the number 4 and 5 are always fighting to take number 3 slot. Not necessarily, like, this was the first year where I would say, I'm not going to say EG upset, but it kind of felt like that a little bit.
If we were to rewind it backwards and say EG's making MSI, we would all be like, you're delusional. Everybody would say EG's making MSI, you're delusional. Because nobody saw that coming.
Dude, people are they were one game away from not even making playoffs. They were 9-9. It was, and they played a lot of shaky games in the regular season. But I guess they're not the players they're not like griefing regular season. They just know they have to get into the playoffs for them to really show off their skill case, because they're more of a BO5 team than a best of 1 team.
Yeah. And also, remember this team, JoJo is replacing Jizuki, and he's gonna like turn 8. I think he just turned 18. And I think
JoJo's got a lot of potential. Yeah,
he has a lot of potential. Like think about this. It's sad to say this, but EG's the only team to beat T1 besides the TSM. Never done it. C9's never done it at an MSI. That's already going to be in their history. Think about that.
I will agree with you with the caveat. That game still meant nothing to T1.
It may mean nothing, but if you look at it, they are predicted to win that game, no matter how we want to. It's because then we're doing an LS like. Oh, T1 just let that go. No. Let's be honest,
they kind of. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of did. Like, they did try and play it out, but I would say it was around. There was like one specific team fight where where I just saw 1 or 2 other players just kind of walk away, and for me, it was just kind of like, okay, I guess they're content to have this game taken from them.
Right, but what I'm saying is, in regards to say like. I don't think Impact. I don't know if he has another year left in him. I don't think so. And I'm not trying to be rude to the guy. I just don't. I see him in a coaching role. I think this is probably me. Honestly, I think that he's done.
You said that last year too.
I think he's done. No, this time I really think he's done.
I don't think Impact will ever be done. I think the thing is
he won't be playing. He'll be a positional coach. I can see him doing that.
Yeah, I can see him being positional, or doing the same thing that teams always try and do and fuck up because they have no idea how to properly execute it, with like the bringing in the rookie, who that I can honestly only think of 1 or 2 times where that's actually worked. And funny enough, one of them was Sven's Karen and Blatter.
Like, to me, they have a good core. Like, Inspired's still young. JoJo is very young. Danny is young. Vulcan still probably has, I would say, a couple years left. It's their top lane that's going to probably be, like I said, I could see that happening, but maybe he might change it up. Who knows? I'm just saying if I had to look. They have a pretty young core when you look at it, outside of Vulcan and Impact. So that's why I'm saying EG probably is going to be a top 2, top 3 team for some splits. And they have potential. They're actually NA talent. We can, like, JoJo is he's not an import. He's an NA talent. Like, honestly, when we looked at JoJo's performance, he did pretty good against the mid laners he had to fight. Like, let's think about it. He had to go up against Caps, Faker, and Xiaohu. That's a lot for a 17-year-old. Like,
that is, yeah.
Like, you can't say, like, it's not like it's Jensen fighting these guys.
No.
So
well, we'll see.
That's why I see their ceiling super high.
EG's. I'm interested to see what EG does this season. I'm interested.
Cool. It would be cool if they almost did a repeat title this split. Now, if they win back-to-back trophies this year, that'd be impressive. I would be like, damn, that'd be impressive.
I mean, their trajectory has been pretty good, right? They ended up like 7th, and then they made playoffs, and then they lost in the first round. I think their first year. And then they made the second round, I believe. And then now they made it finals. So each year, they've actually got... You could say that they're the Rogue of NA. Like, Rogue...
That's actually a good way of putting it, yeah.
Rogue started at the bottom and then became a top team.
So I guess we're just going to watch Rogue and EG and see which one actually can do a repeat performance.
Well, guys, that's it. I'm going to go head out, go have sex with my wife, actually. You know, just what I do here, you know, besides play League of Legends.
Yeah, the fact that you play League of Legends means that you don't have a wife and you don't have sex.
Yeah, that's true.
See you guys next week. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an episode on Wednesday or Thursday, but I'll set it up on my StreamYard coming up for next week as I plan out the content. Yeah, LCS look like pretty much shit outside of like Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, EG, and CLG.
Fake news C9 is going to be back up there. Mark my
CL9.
words.
Like, dude, the LEC games, man, a lot of those were pure stomps. There were so many stomps this past week. I didn't know who was stomping who. The games looked so one-sided by a lot of these teams.
I'm going to say one thing before you close off. This durability patch is... I personally think
disgusting, dude.
It's disgusting. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean...
Like, it's literally causing early game players to just be irrelevant. Literally irrelevant.
Yeah, like, when your games are relying on Corki, Victor, like, scaling mid laners, or like a scaling bot, hard carry, it's just like, okay, so you're basically waiting for like 27 to 30 minutes, or if you get the late gamer ahead.
Riot, stop taking design cues from StarCraft. Nobody likes watching opening 20 minutes where nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that is it. It was nice to have Trackhawk back for the one episode he does a year with us, actually. Just like my dad apparently into my life.
Oh, video production, man. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, wait, that's your entire life. Sucks to be you. Oh, wait, that's my life too. Damn it.
Yeah, like I heard from a guy in Hollywood that being a production assistant is also hell too. So, you know.
Yeah, just run.
Comes with the live territory, man. Hey, making content is fun. Like, I don't think people who don't make content don't actually understand what really goes into all this, you know?
Nope.
But I don't expect someone on the outside to really know what goes on because you're not really supposed to know. You're supposed to let us kind of handle that stuff. So it's one of those weird give and take relationships, actually. But if you guys are interested in the MCU, Thor: Love and Thunder review embargo lifts later on tonight. So you get to hear the first reactions of that film. Natalie Portman, the best actress in the world.
I mean, she's on HGH if nobody else believes that. So.
The Star Wars prequels are the best movies ever.
That's true.
Said no one ever.
Kenobi was the greatest
Disney
show of all time.
Astralis is making worlds.
Whoa, man.
Who paid you to say this, Warren? I swear, Astralis is like literally wiring this guy money to fucking say this stuff on the show.
To be fair, I just want to make sure I'm not delusional.
I had the I was scrolling through my thing. I had the general manager for Astralis follow me. Just saying.
Warren's being paid by Astralis. Hashtag confirmed.
If you get the Astralis person on the show, I want to ask them why they kept Promise Q for 3 splits.
Honestly, okay, so I don't want to take your show over, but honestly, the reason I like the smaller orgs is because, well, not like teams like Astralis and SK is because I just think that they care about their players, and I know they don't have the money, but their interaction, their content, that's kind of why I like them. Now, do I think G2 is better? Of course. But when I'm not a fan of Ocelot. Like, he has this, like, I think Ocelot might be a Reggie, but we don't know it. That's what I think.
Except it is masked with him winning. It gets masked with winning.
With his masked with him winning. So, like,
potentially.
We don't know.
So as soon as G2 falls off the rocks, then Ocelot is going to enter into a scandal, and G2 is going to investigate themselves and find out that Ocelot did nothing wrong.
They didn't want Perks going over to Fnatic. Remember, he literally said that why would I be stupid to put that? That would make my other team better. That's stupid. I'd rather send them to NA. So that's kind of skeevy at the end of the day.
I mean, it is scheming, but it's also incredibly smart.
It is,
and I hate that.
And the fact that he didn't want to allow it says a lot about
Ocelot's next Reginald confirmed.
It's not the next Reginald. I'm just saying, like,
I have faith in Rogue. For some reason, only in the regular season. Regular season. Playoffs, definitely not. Definitely not.
Making worlds.
All right, guys. See you next week on Wednesday or Thursday. The show was primarily Wednesday, 3 p.m. PST, but, Warren and Sean decided to have sex with their girlfriends this week and stand me up, so that's literally what exactly happened.
God damn it, Warren.
God damn it,
Warren. Leg day. I'm never going to be here on a Wednesday. What the hell?
Okay. See you guys later.
Yep.
On the Nightwing, and Wave Life Esports is signing out, guys. Have a great day. Peace. Make sure you guys follow me on my main YouTube channel where I post literally every single day. I dropped on my main YouTube channel 5 videos before I came over here. So, go show that some love. See you guys later. Peace.